Raheem Sterling sends Liverpool clear FSG takeover message amid $108 million Chelsea transfer madness. Welcome to the Liverpool channel. If you are a faithful fan and want to stay on top of everything that happens with the Reds, subscribe to the channel and click the bell not to miss anything. When Chelsea gave Raheem Sterling a route out of Manchester City last summer, it was touted in some quarters as a victory for the Liverpool transfer model. FSG showed no interest in taking back the former jewel in their crown, having instead prioritised moves for young forwards Darwin, Núñez and Díaz, and with the club having won everything since his initial departure, there was faith in the beginning of a new cycle of victory at Anfield. In West London, meanwhile, the transfer was championed as the start of an exciting new era at Stamford Bridge, something of a coup from under the noses of the Premier League champions. Sure enough, Todd Boehly has proved not to be shy of splashing the cash, and Sterling was just the start of a mind-boggling spree. 6 months on, with Liverpool and Chelsea 9th and 10th in the Premier League table, neither are feeling particularly smug. FSG is guilty of not spending enough, but Boehly has already been guilty of spending erratically, tossing money around in chaotic and ultimately ineffective fashion. Nothing could underline that more than the news that Chelsea is willing to listen to offers for Sterling. According to Football Insider, the club is already prepared to move on their $58 million, £48m, €54m, signing, having just gone out and bought fellow winger Mykhailo Mudryk for $108 million, £88m, €99m. Mudryk, at least, is a young signing and can be categorized as one for the future. But it's a major gamble on someone who is still relatively unproven at a high level of the game, with just a handful of good Champions League performances to his name. He certainly doesn't seem to have done enough to warrant an incredible 8.5-year contract, The Athletic. But this is no show of faith from Chelsea. It's little more than an accounting trick. Transfer fees are amortized over the course of a player's deal, meaning that Boehly's astonishing outlay is still relatively modest as far as financial fair play, FFP, is concerned. Mudryk is the pinnacle, at least so far, of a recurring trend. Most of Chelsea's new signings have been placed on exceptionally long contracts. Benoit Badiashile and David Fofana signed 7.5-year deals, Wesley Fofana got 7, Carney Chukwuemeka and Mark Cucurella were given 6, and even 31-year-old Kalidou Koulibaly signed on for 4 years. A smart move? Maybe, but perhaps there is a reason that no club has thought to do this up to now. While many of these deals feature an optional club-side 1-year extension, the basic contracts alone represent a massive commitment. What happens when Chelsea wants to offload a player? Raheem Sterling might be about to provide the answer. He was no exception to the trend, signing an initial 5-year deal with the option of a 12-month extension. He is 6 months into that commitment. Long contracts usually give selling clubs a strong hand, but the opposite is true when buying clubs know that there is an army of no longer needed players eating into the wage bill for well into the next half-decade and beyond. Inevitably, not all of Chelsea's signings will pan out. Sterling is still playing regularly, so keeping him would not be the most terrible outcome for the time being, but there will come a point when utterly unwanted assets will be sitting on the sidelines, on massive contracts, leaving the club with an unpleasant choice: sell for a massive loss, or continue to take the hit on the wage bill. That's only sustainable for so long, particularly without Champions League revenues. While FSG will no doubt be frustrated that FFP can be evaded so easily, Chelsea is nonetheless heading towards a potential precipice. This does not seem like a fundamentally sound business practice. Liverpool's self-sustaining model would never run such an untested risk. And in that sense, Sterling and the Chelsea saga has provided an important message to Liverpool amid the increased takeover talk. Qatar has been credited with a serious interest in taking over from FSG, but money alone brings no guarantees. It must be spent wisely, something for which PSG are not exactly renowned. That's obviously without touching on deeper concerns about where the money is coming from. But even in terms of the pure business proposition, and the prospects of bringing long-term success, FSG still represents a far better option than plenty of richer alternatives. Liverpool must be very careful what they wish for, and they only need to look at Sterling for proof. Want to have quick and exclusive news about Liverpool? Then subscribe to the channel and click the bell not to miss anything.